Hey there, this is LaQuita with QuitaBugHandmaids.com, and thank you so much for joining me today for another Stampin' Up! Tutorial. Today I have another really fun project to share with you. I know I say that about every one of my projects, but it really is fun. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. And I'm using two stamp sets. I am using the Reverse Words stamp set. This is one of the celebration sets that you can get in my online Stampin' Up! Store. When you spend $50 before shipping and tax, you can choose a free item. So this one's free with a $50 purchase. Remember, celebration is coming to an end, I think in 17 days. I think I'm posting this video on Wednesday, and that'll be 17 days. So get those things that are on your must-have list now, because they'll be gone soon. And then I'm also using the Places You'll Go stamp set. I just got this last week. I love this set. This is a really fun one. I'm really excited to use this. Great fonts. Love the globe and the little airplane, and some really great sentiments as well. So this one is from our annual catalog. So here is the card that we are going to make today. I'm also using some of the 6x6 Bermuda Bay Glimmer. I've got glitter everywhere. I'm using that glimmer paper, which is also one of the celebration items. So I love how this card turned out, and I'm actually making these cards to send to anyone who joins my team of Quita Bug Stampers between now and the month of May. So if you join between now and then, you will be receiving one of these beautiful cards in the mail from me in your welcome package for joining my team. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our stamping. So I've got a piece of scrap Whisper White cardstock. I'm going to bring in my Bermuda Bay ink pad, and we are going to stamp that hooray from the Reverse Words stamp set. So I'm going to ink this up. I think I have this upside down. Let's see. Yep, I'm going to ink this up, and then I'm going to bring in some scratch paper, and I'm going to stamp it off. I want to get a little lighter shade of the Bermuda Bay, and now I'm going to stamp onto my Whisper White here, right about there. Okay. Perfect. Love that. And let's go ahead and leave out that Bermuda Bay. And you guys know that I love to decorate my envelopes. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and bring in my envelope. So for my envelope, I am stamping two images from the Places You'll Go stamp set. I'm stamping this little wreath, and then I'm stamping the Adventure Awaits. So I'm going to stamp the wreath in the Bermuda Bay right here in the bottom left-hand corner. There we go. Now we can put the Bermuda Bay away. I'm bringing in my basic gray archival ink, and I'm going to stamp the Adventure Awaits sentiment here with that. I love this sentiment for the envelope, because I tell you what, joining Stampin' Up! Has been one of the best decisions I've ever made, and it truly is an adventure. An adventure you will not regret. Trust me, I love being a part of Stampin' Up! Love everything about it. But I thought that sentiment was just so fitting for these cards. So there we go. So we've got our little envelope. Alrighty, so I have brought in my Big Shot, and I've got my magnetic platform. We're going to do a little die cutting. I'm going to also put down one cutting plate here, and I'm going to put my hooray down. We're going to be using the layering ovals to die cut today. So I've got one of the plain ovals, and I'm going to put that around my hooray. So let's see, right about there looks good. Then I've got a piece of that Bermuda Bay glimmer paper. Isn't it gorgeous? This is cut down to, let me see if I can remember here, 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. There we go. And I'm just going to add this right here, and I'm going to put my framelit right in the center. So I'm going to cut the center out. That way I can save paper. So put another cutting plate on top, and then we'll just crank this through. Okay, so we've done all of our die cutting, and we've got one more thing to stamp here. I'm going to use my basic gray archival ink, and we're going to stamp the welcome from that Places You'll Go stamp set. We're going to put that right here in the top right hand. So this says, Welcome. Hooray. Love it. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start assembling some of these pieces. So I'm going to add my sentiment right on top of my Bermuda Bay glimmer, but I'm going to use Fast Fuse to do that. You want to use a really strong adhesive when you are adding layers to glimmer paper, because it does not like to adhere because it is so textured. So you want to use something like Fast Fuse or Tear and Tape. Okay, so now I've got a piece of Smoky Slate Designer Series paper. This is from the Neutrals Designer Series paper stack, and this is, oh, you know what? I told you guys the wrong measurements. This is actually cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4, and this layer is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Whew, there we go. Trying to keep all these measurements straight. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this on to my glimmer, and again I'm going to put adhesive all the way around because I want to be sure that it sticks really well. Okay, so now I've got some of our Bermuda Bay thick baker's twine. I am just going to flip my layer over and use some regular Scotch tape and just add this down, and I'm going to wrap it around, and I want to kind of crisscross my twine, and then I'm going to tape it down again and then snip. Now we can add some dimensionals to this layer. So I'm going to add 9 dimensionals. Okay, then I'm going to also add dimensionals to my sentiment layer, and I only want 2 at the top and then 2 at the bottom so that my dimensionals don't get in the way of my twine. So now I can bring in my card base. This is a piece of Whisper White thick cardstock, and this is cut at 8 1/2 inches by 5 1/2 inches, and I have scored it at 4 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and add this layer down, center that on. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to take the dimensional backings off of this layer, and we will add this on. Alrighty, I'll just put that right in the center. Just like that, and let's fold it over. Give it a nice crease with the bone folder. Okay, and so here's our card, and we just need to add one more finishing touch. So I'm bringing in some of our Sending Love embellishments, and these are from the Occasions catalog, and I'm going to take the little wooden heart. This is the large solid heart that comes in the embellishment pack, and you've got a kind of etched side, and then you've got a plain side. I want the plain side to show, so I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to add 2 glue dots. Okay, and now we will just add our heart right here. And there's our finished card. And don't you just love this card with the envelope? I mean, the decorated envelope just ties it all together. Love it. All right, so thank you again for joining me today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and remember, if you join my team of QuittaBug Stampers between now and May 2017, you will receive one of these lovely handmade cards in the mail in your welcome package from me. So if you'd like to purchase any of the supplies that you saw me use today, you can head on over to today's coordinating blog post, and I've also linked the supplies directly below this video. I also have information about joining my team below this video, and I have that information over on my blog post today as well. So thank you again, you guys. I truly appreciate you all. If you have any questions about Stampin' Up, please feel free to email me at QuittaBugHandmaids@gmail.com. So thanks again, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.